Thank you everyone for coming to my session, whoever is joining it today. And yeah, it is a little bit summer here in UK. So yeah, nice, lovely weather. And also we have got Wimbledon women's final today going on in the background. So I'm like quite keen to go and catch up with it as soon as I finish the session. But yeah, hope everyone is enjoying nice, lovely summers who are joining from UK here today. So yeah, today I'm going to talk about semantic link in Microsoft Fabric. And before I start my session, I would just like to give a brief introduction around me. Those who don't know me, my name is Pragati Jain, and I'm a Microsoft Data Platform MVP. Apart from that, I'm also a super user at Microsoft Fabric community. So if you don't know about Microsoft Fabric community, definitely go and check the community because it's one of the most visited forum, I would say, for all the tech problems or issues that everyone raises. And trust me, and it's an honest thing that I have actually learned a lot from this community. So definitely go and check out the community. And this Fabric community has now been expanded. Earlier, it just used to be Power BI community, but now you see Data Factory, data engineering, and other aspects of Fabric there in the community as well. So no one is stopping you from learning Fabric. Definitely go and check out the community and join the community if you can. Then additional things, I've got nearly 10 plus years of industry experience. Then currently I'm working in London as analytics manager at Avanade. Outside Avanade, I'm also a co-organizer at Data Weekender conference, which I run with Justin. So Justin is also on the organizing committee like myself. So we generally do it once a year and twice if that is manageable. And it's an online data platform conference, just like Data Toboggan. We run it in a single day, which is virtual. So you can just join from any part of the world based on your convenience. Apart from that, I'm also a manager at Microsoft Fabric UK user group, which is again a virtual user group that I run alongside Leon Gordon. And we always look for speakers. So if any of you want to talk about anything around Fabric, Power BI, anything what you love about, then definitely reach out to one of us and we'll be more than happy to host you. And we also encourage new speakers. So in case you want to start your speaking journey, as well, then also you can approach us. And then apart from it, just a little fun fact about me. I like to paint as well. So that's why I call myself a techie artist. So it just brings together my technical skills along with my artistic skills. So yeah, that's me. And that's a lot about me. So yeah, let's just go and dig into the session today. So today's agenda, sorry, I'll just take a sip of here. So as I mentioned, today we are going to talk about semantic link in Microsoft Fabric. So in today's agenda, very brief, I think this is the briefest agenda I have, just presented, on a slide. So there are just two things on this agenda. One is we are going to look at some overview and introductory aspects of what semantic link is within Microsoft Fabric. And then we'll directly see some of the demos that I have prepared and, how they can actually help us in our Microsoft Fabric journey. So let's go to the next slide where I'm going to talk about what semantic link is. Now, before I go into like what semantic link is now, Microsoft Fabric has been there for some time. And I know most of you who are attending this conference know about Microsoft Fabric. There are so many things within Fabric. It's not just like one aspect. It's like so many different workloads, so many different experiences. You can use Fabric if you're coming from different personas as well. So it is not limited to certain skill set. It is actually a wider skill set. So you come from, irrespective of you come from any technical background, you can actually go and deep dive into Microsoft Fabric straight away these days. So semantic link in Microsoft Fabric. So this has been there for some time, but I really wanted to come up with something on semantic link because honestly, semantic link has become my another favorite feature in Microsoft Fabric. And that is something I'll tell you soon why it is. Now, let's just quickly see what semantic link is. Now, within Microsoft Fabric platform, so when I'm talking about semantic link, I am assuming that people here know about things within Fabric. You have already tried Fabric, you know what semantic models are, what different workloads and experiences are available in Fabric, because I'm not going through that. I'm just going into a single topic here related to Semantic Link. So what Semantic Link allows you to do is it kind of helps you establish a connection between your semantic models that are being, say, prepared by your Power BI experts and between the data science workload. So how that works is, if I just give you like a little bit idea around that. So it kind of bridges a gap between your Power BI semantic models and your data science experience. So suppose if you have a scenario where a Power BI expert has built a semantic model, and then there's a data science team who really want to pick up that semantic model and do some kind of statistical analysis on top of it by, say, creating some machine learning models and then generating some predictions. So this semantic link helps the data science team to access that model information in a good way. So what semantic link helps is like it kind of gives data science people or a data science team who are sitting like in a different persona, and they can easily access all the metadata level information of your semantic model and then start creating their machine learning models or predictions on top of it. And then the second thing what they can also do is they can actually write the output of their machine learning models, the predictions, back to your one lake, and from one lake the data analyst can actually take that output and feed it back to the Power BI using Direct Lake. So that's what this simple architecture tells. But today, I'm not going to be focusing on how semantic model can be helpful for someone coming from data science. Now, I come from a Power BI background. So today in this session, I'm going to tell you how Semantic Link helped me as a Power BI developer to do some analysis or get that kind of metadata information without even using some kind of, say, external tools that I'm used to using, like, say, Tableau Editor or DAX Studio or Measure Killer, to do some optimization of my semantic model, or, like, say, understand what the metadata behind my semantic model is, or, like, say, what kind of measure definitions I've written under the hood of my semantic model. So today I'm going to talk about Semantic Link, like how it can help me as a Power BI developer or any Power BI developer as well, not just the data science team. So some of the primary goals of Semantic Link, definitely facilitate data connectivity. Like I talked about in the previous slide, that Semantic Link helps us to bridge the gap between your semantic models created by Power BI team and the data science team. And then definitely it allows to enable propagation of semantic information. So when we say semantic information, it's more about the underlying metadata information that resides under your semantic model. Everything from tables, hierarchies, measures, calculations, whatever you have built on top of the semantic model. And one good thing about Semantic Link is it also helps a seamless integration with data science tools, because just consider the data science team, the people who come from a data science persona, they are used to using Spark notebooks because they are good with those skills. So Semantic Link helps them get all the semantic model information by just using notebooks, because Semantic Link helps a very smooth integration with the notebooks. And we'll see that in just a few minutes. And as we already talked, like Semantic Link helps us to bridge a gap between Power BI and data science experience, because data science team can easily access the semantic model information using their smart notebooks. Then when we talk about semantic links, there are certain libraries and connectors that are available within Microsoft Fabric, which enables this seamless integration of extracting the metadata information of a semantic model via notebooks. So there are certain libraries there, but specifically SemPy Python library is the one that is majorly used by Semantic Link. And it definitely serves all the Panda users, and some of the functionalities that SemPy Python library gives is like it can extract information or metadata information related to your tables, your measures, your DAX queries and metadata, and even your relationships within your semantic model. And also it supports Spark native connector, as we already saw that Semantic Link basically gives a seamless integration with the notebooks, right? So that's why it is available within the Spark native connector, and it supports all the different, programming languages that Spark supports, like PySpark, Spark SQL, R, Scala. And there are few more additional metadata propagation that Semantic Link supports. We'll be seeing this in the demo. Like, for example, if you've got data categories within your semantic model, like geographic area, like address, places, city, etc., or say you have got URLs or barcodes, then Semantic Link again helps you propagate that kind of information and helps you extract that information by the use of SemPy library. And also, when you have got relationships among your tables, then it helps you extract the existing relationships as well. And on top of that, you can actually do some kind of, analysis that helps you optimize your semantic model as well. So I'm quite interested to show you how it works. But yeah, let's just wait for a few more minutes. And also, if you have got some underlying hierarchies built on your semantic model, then Semantic Link helps you extract that level of information from your model as well. So now, next we are going to directly go into demos. So today I have prepared 3 demos. The first demo will be more around how we can, discover relationships within our existing semantic model. And all these demos are built using SemPy library. So I'll be showing them in the notebooks, and also, pointing out few things like how, obviously those notebooks can help a data science person as well to understand all the metadata information that is under the hood of my semantic model, but how it can also help me as a Power BI developer to understand few things without even using some, additional tools. Then the second demo, I'll be showing around how we can actually extract and evaluate measure definitions within the semantic model, and also analyze certain level of measures by making different aggregations or, at different levels. And then the third demo will be more around model optimization. So as I mentioned, that semantic link helps us extract all the metadata information, but it can also help you or help us to optimize it. So when we extract that level of information, based on that information, we can actually take necessary steps to optimize it as a next level thing, because those who work already in the Power BI world, they know how important model optimization is. Just creating a semantic model doesn't help, because you need to make sure that the semantic model that's been created, it is the most optimized one that you have created, because in the end, that semantic model is the foundation to everything. Not just reporting that you do on top of it, but that semantic model could be, like, say, taken or used by other analysts within the team to create another level of semantic models or data sets. So that's why model optimization is a very key aspect of creating a semantic model. So let's see how we can use Semantic Link to create all these 3 demos. So I've already created the demo, so I'll just go through them, how these might help us, how this will help us. So let me just quickly switch my screen. And yeah, if there are any questions, just pop them in the chat and I'll pick them up when I have a breakpoint in my session. So Justin, can you just confirm if you can see my browser?
Okay. Yep, all good.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so this is basically my Fabric environment, and I've got a Fabric trial license running. If you guys have already worked with Fabric, you can get a free trial license for 60 days. So you can just go and, just enable that. So I've enabled this Fabric trial license, and what I did was I just got some data into my in one of my workspace, and this is one of the popular data set. I think most of us have worked on it. So you all must have heard about AdventureWorks data, right? Similarly, there's a Contoso data as well. So I'm using Contoso sales data for this particular analysis. And what I have done is I created a semantic model. So not the default semantic model. I created a new semantic model in my environment to just make sure and do some analysis on how good the model is and how I can improve it, or what kind of relationships or metadata information is under the semantic model. Okay, so this is a very simple semantic model. You can see all the relationships built here. And this is the model we are taking as a foundation to do all the analysis by using Semantic Link. So I'll go back to my workspace. Oh, sorry, I should just click here. Okay, so let's go to the first demo where we are going to talk about how we can actually, extract relationships lying under our basically semantic model within a workspace. So what this simple notebook does is, so this is a notebook that I created, and I'll share some reference links as well, where I went and read about Semantic Link and how these demos can be created. So I'll share those links by the end of the session as well, and also the PowerPoint presentation what I've got, I'll share with the organizers so they can share it with you. So the first thing, obviously, definitely, we have to use Semantic Link, and we saw on one of the slides that to leverage the capabilities of Semantic Link, we need to use SemPy library, which is one of the Python libraries that is used to get these capabilities installed. So what I did as the first thing was just installed my SemPy library. Now, once that library was installed, the next thing what I did was I imported all the necessary modules that will be required to extract the relationships from my semantic model. And once that was done, then yeah, I just enforce some kind of formatting here so that whenever I'm generating some output, it is actually generated in a certain format. And I'm not rerunning them because they are just very quick ones to run and execute. Yeah, thanks, Justin, for sharing that link as well. Thank you. Now, once we have already configured everything, basically our notebook is, we have already got the SemPy library installed. We have got all the necessary modules installed. Now, the next thing is, how do I explore the semantic model that is within my particular workspace, which is a Fabric Contoso workspace here? So first thing what I start with doing is like, how can I get the list of all semantic models within this workspace? So there's a very simple function to do that. There's a list underscore datasets function, fabric.list underscore datasets. If you run that, it kind of gives you a list of all the datasets that are available within this workspace. And if you see that, you can see all the available semantic models within this workspace, and including the one that I created as a new semantic model. Now, what I really want to understand is the new semantic model which I created. I want to understand like what kind of relationships and what kind of tables are there, or say what kind of relationship type I've got on those tables. So what I simply did was, I mean, this code is very simple, and I really don't need to explain it because it's like straightforward. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to understand what relationships are built within my semantic model, which is sm underscore contoso sales. So I'm just referring to that semantic model, and I'm just trying to understand what relationships are there. So I'm using list underscore relationships to output my relationships. And once I do that, then the output that is generated, it shows me all the different tables. And I can see like first thing is what kind of relationship is that? It is many to one. So fact sales is actually my fact table, and this is my dimension table. So I can see on what column I have built the relationship from my fact table to my dimension table. And I can see different kind of information here as well, like what kind of cross-filtering direction I have set, and yeah, other few things. And similarly, you can see I've got one relationship in my semantic model, which is actually, again, many to one, but still its cross-filter direction is set to both directions. So this could be something I need to keep an eye on, because if you come from Power BI world, setting cross-filter direction to both is generally not a best practice until and unless it is really needed. So these kind of things, I mean, these were so easy for me to navigate and, just get as an output within this notebook. I mean, obviously, when you think from a different perspective, like a data science person who doesn't know about the semantic model, then this nice table gives that person, or gives that member or good information about that model, like what's really going within that model, how many tables they have got, and what's the relationship, how's the relationship built between those tables, what are the key columns and additional things there. So that kind of works pretty good. But as a Power BI developer, this notebook just works perfectly for me. Rather than going through my Power BI file, going through the modeling section, seeing my data model or semantic model, and then trying to identify what relationships are built there. But this output just works perfectly fine because it kind of gives me a nice table. I can just see and point out what is really happening in my semantic model at a very high level. Yes, auto-generated documentation. Yeah, in a way, it is like that. You can just use it for some purpose. So that's what I really like about it. But obviously, I'm a Power BI developer. So for me, sometimes tables don't work, right? So I really like to visualize things. So this semantic link feature or the SemPy library actually allows me to visualize my relationships within the semantic model as well. And that can be done very easily. It's a very simple plot function. And what it literally does is it kind of takes all your relationships here, what we have got here, and just plots them into a nice visually represented, kind of graph. And I really like it because, as I said, I come from Power BI world. So for me, visualization is one of the other important aspect while developing a model in Power BI or getting everything at a foundation level. Uh, Sorry, I was on but it seems given that I can't see anything other than a semantic model being the gold level data product. For some reason, I was hanging on to the old data set to Power BI and relating it only to reports and dashboard. Okay. Sorry, you're saying the slides are blurry. Can you zoom in, please? Is it like still blurry for you? Like you can't? Is it blurry for everyone? Sorry, or is it just one person? Can someone just confirm if it is blurry for everyone?
It seems to be okay for me.
Okay, okay. So maybe I think if it's blurry for you, can you just reconnect and see because it looks like it's fine. Yeah, I think I can see that people are saying it's okay for them. But yeah, let me know if you want me to make it a little more bigger, I can make it more bigger. So yeah, coming back to like you can very nicely visualize like what the relationships are built on, what kind of tables are connected to each other, and it kind of gives a nice graphical representation as well. So yeah, that's why I really love like how we can extract the underlying relationships built within a semantic model so easily. And when you go through the code, it's not that hard. It's like, I mean, obviously when you come from a different background, it's hard for you to learn some new skill, right? But that's the beauty of Microsoft Fabric, right? I mean, Fabric gives you that capability to upskill yourself. And trust me, like being a Power BI developer for so many years, until Fabric came, I literally didn't try to do any PySpark coding until I had a need of. And when I started doing it, it kind of made more sense. Like, why do I have to depend on someone else doing this for me when I can do it on my own? So that's why I really love using notebooks these days. So you can easily see like how easily we can extract these relationships within a semantic model and understand all the different kind of relationships. So this was like a very basic, the first level of demo, like where we ended up seeing like how we can see a high level view of the semantic model, especially from the relationship point of view, like what kind of relationships are built within our different tables. Now let's go and see another demo where we are going to talk about how we can extract measures information from a semantic model. Now, when we talk about semantic models in Power BI, let me quickly show you something before we go to the notebook. Yeah, so this is my data model. And what I also did on this data model is like I ended up creating, yeah, so this is my data model. And what I did was I ended up creating some measures on top of my data model. So if I go to my, say, basically my table, my sales table, I've created some calculations on top of it. So this is what we are going to see, like how we can actually extract this level of information from a semantic model using semantic link. So let's go to the notebook again. And again, what we are doing is here, I simply ended up using again the SemPy library, which helps us to use the capabilities of semantic link. And once that was loaded, I just imported the necessary modules here. And then again, I did the same thing. I just wanted to check like what all data sets are within my current workspace. So I get the list of all my semantic data sets. Sorry, I should not be using data sets because it's here, but yeah, all the list of the semantic models that are within my current workspace, so I can see all my models here. Now, again, I want to analyze my particular model that I created. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is in this section, I'm just trying to extract the list of all the measures that have been built on top of my semantic model. So when I look at when I try to analyze my semantic contours or sales semantic model and try to list all the measures, I can see I ended up creating few measures here. Now this, again, this is pretty good. Again, it tells me on which table what all measures I've created. So in this case, I ended up creating all the measures on my fact table. So you can see just one table name, but say if you have got measures on like multiple tables, you'll have different table names here. So in this case, I've got all these measures created on my certain table. I can see the expression against those measures as well, basically my measure definition, like what that measure is doing. These are very simple measures. So yeah, nothing something we should be worried about. Then I can also see the good thing is I can see the data type of these measures. I can see whether they are hidden or not. Now I have clubbed these measures into a folder. So I also see that level of information that under this folder, all of these measures are defined in my table. Then further down the line, I don't have any measure description defined, so that's why it's empty. But then I also see the format of the measures. Like some of my measures like total sales, total discount, sales for 2010 and 2011, they are formatted as currency. So that's why you see a different format string going on there, and rest of them are just like whole numbers. So you see them like that way with 1000 separator. I don't have any data category defined against them, but still, if you have that level of information defined against your measures, you can actually see that information there. So this is what is like something, very important thing for me as well as a Power BI developer. I mean, come on, suppose if I want to document things just in a quick way, then this is how I will do it. If someone just asks me, how can you just give me a list of all the measures within your semantic model, then I can just run this code, extract this information, and just do it. I mean, yeah, someone just wrote that point like more powerful than Tabular editor. I mean, definitely, if you come from Power BI world, you are used to using those external tools like Tabular editor and DAX Studio. I mean, of course, in Tabular editor, you can run a script and you can just extract the measure information very easily. It's not a tough job, but when you have everything within the same environment, then that works, right? That's the beauty of Microsoft Fabric. That's the most powerful thing that Fabric gives, right? Everything under same hood. We have got everything at one place. You really don't need to go to other places. So sorry, apologies if someone is just, please don't take it as something against external tools. I love external tools and I still do it and I still use them. But I'm just telling on top of it, when you're working on a semantic model, then you can have all that information built here within your notebooks as well within Fabric environment. So definitely, I mean, this is something not, I mean, I don't care about data science team, whether they like it or not, but I as a Power BI developer still love this because this kind of gives me a starting step to create documentation on my model. Now, once I've got my measures here, what if I want to run some kind of evaluations on certain measures here? So when I talk about evaluations now, if you guys work with DAX Studio or Tabular Editor, sometimes we go and evaluate our measures for some issues, or we want to say analyze our measures at different granularities, or say group by or aggregate them by different columns. Then definitely those things are possible within those external tools as well. But the same things you can do here as well. Like for example, what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to understand the output of one of my measure total sales, which was here defined on my semantic model, and just understanding what's the output is. And that's a simple command where I'm just evaluating that measure. And the same thing, say, if I want to evaluate or analyze this measure at a different aggregation level, like say, if I want to aggregate it by like, say, a channel name or product class, which is within my semantic model, then I can clearly do that. And I can get a very nice table run here. I mean, those who come from database background, it's more like grouping measure against your columns, right? That's the group by clause that we write in a SQL query. And that's how it is simply done here using this command. I think I did something wrong. Yeah. So you can do all kind of analysis, all kind of evaluations here. And even this is not limited to this. You can further go down and, modify your groupings or analysis. Like, for example, if you want to add certain filter, like here, what I'm doing is I'm just analyzing my sales by my product brand name, where my brand name is only this. So I'm applying filters and just analyzing my sales for these three different product brands. So I can do all these things very easily within the notebook. And further down, if I want to say analyze by multiple columns, like say, and multiple measures, like say, in this case, I'm analyzing my sales measure and my written quantity by my channel name and class name. So it kind of gives me that level of, information as well. So that's what I'm loving about these notebooks. It kind of makes my life easier. Again, saying the same line, that bringing everything together at a one place. I really don't have to go to my PBIX file, connect to external tools, and then do the same stuff. But I can simply do it here. But I still need external tools for certain things which are still not here. But when it comes to just understanding a semantic model at high level and understanding relationships or measures that we have built in, or how we can improvise things within the semantic model, then again, we have got that capability. And just imagine when your data science team wants to understand the semantic model to build their machine learning algorithms for predictions on top of this, then they have all the information here in a single notebook. They can just go and write that. They're experts with coding, right? They love writing Spark codes. They can just do this like on the fly, and they have all the information without even asking us or contacting us like, can you please give us this information from your underlying semantic model? No, they already have everything because of Semantic Link here. So the knowledge is basically within the same environment, but it is accessible not only by Power BI developers, but it is also accessible by the data science team who really want to use this information further down the line. So this was basically the second demo where I really wanted to show like how we can extract measured information, how we can run some evaluate measure functions here, and also analyze some measures at different levels or aggregations. Now let's go to the third demo, which I'm really keen to show. Now the third demo is around how you can actually use Semantic Link to understand what kind of optimizations could be done on your semantic model. So for this, what I have done is, again, I wrote another notebook here, and let the notebook load. Sometimes it takes seconds. So now here what I'm using is like, I'm not sure how many of you saw this, but sometime in the end of June, Semantic Labs were released by Microsoft. And Semantic Labs actually give you capability to do some additional things on top of what we already saw in the last two demos. Now here, when it comes to model optimization, we talked about model optimization. For me as a Power BI developer, model optimization is the key thing before I give it to the report developers. So when it comes to model optimization, I generally analyze my model and try to make sure it is optimized to the best way I can. Like, for example, relationship should be good. I should be using best practices for designing the semantic model. But let's see how this semantic link helps us, judge on few things like whether your model is optimized or not. And based on that judgment, you can take the next step and optimize your semantic models. So again, I did some basic installations. I imported some necessary libraries here. And now the next thing what I did was, now again, if you're coming from Power BI background, you know the importance of Vertipack Analyzer. Vertipack Analyzer helps us understand like our overview around our semantic model. Thanks, Justin, for sharing that as well. Semantic Link Labs. Yeah, these were, These were released in the end of June, I guess, in a blog. But yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, and this scenario has been picked up from one of those labs as well. So Vertipack Analyzer helps me analyze my semantic model in a way at a good level. I mean, at a good granular level as well. So in this case, let's see how good our model is. So what this semantic link allows me to do here is it allows me to run a Vertipack analyzer on my semantic model within this particular workspace. The moment I run that, I end up with multiple information here. And if you have used Tabular Editor before, which is an external tool, if you run Vertipack Analyzer within Tabular Editor, it kind of ends up giving you similar kind of information. So like, for example, I end up getting a model summary. So I can see my semantic model name, its size, how many tables it has got, how many columns it has got. Default mode is import in this case, and compatibility level. Similarly, if I go further down, I can see the list of all the tables, number of rows within those tables, size of those tables. So you can see this is kind of very similar information that we get in Vertipack Analyzer using an external tool. Further down the line, I can see, okay, what kind of partitions are built on this. I can also go and see the size of my columns, where it kind of tells me, okay, the cardinality, the total size. So I can understand here the same aspects, like which column is taking the maximum size. Can I modify it in some way so that I can reduce the size. So again, these aspects are some way telling us, okay, this is your semantic model. This is what is going on here. So this kind of information, again, helps us in understanding whether a model needs more optimization or not. So I can see all the relationships, the multiplicity. I can see what kind of directions are there. I don't have any hierarchies currently built in this model, so I don't see them. But yeah, I can get a Vertipack Analyzer based information within the same notebook to understand my semantic model. Same thing if you are already using like external tools, then best practice analyzer in Tabular Editor that helps us understand how good our model is built, whether it is using all the best practices or not. Is there something we can change to make it better? So the same thing you can do within this using Semantic Link as well. You can run best practice analyzer on your semantic model and kind of comes up with very good level of information. So you can clearly see it is kind of telling me you should add a data category for your geography column, because yeah, these are my demographic informations, right? I mean, these are my geographical informations like city name, continent name, region. I should give them a data category. So from best practice point of view, this information is telling me I should do this. It is also telling me what all columns I should not summarize, because again, if you know about model optimization, one of the main things is you should never summarize numeric columns within your semantic models. So that's again another warning I'm getting. Oh, I should take these steps to optimize my model further. I should hide my keys. I should mark my primary keys, all those kind of different things. I mean, this analysis is telling me like this can actually improve my model. If further down the line, if I go and see few more aspects, I can see what all unnecessary columns are there. I mean, it again gives me a column level information, which I can use to optimize my model. It tells me a few more things about the performance. Like, for example, I've got a bidirectional relationship between these two tables. So it is asking me to check it whether it is really required. It is giving me some more highlighters that I should consider a star schema instead of a snowflake schema, because if you remember the semantic model I showed you, it is a snowflake schema base. It's not a star schema. Then it's also telling me things like, oh, I should not be using floating point data types. So this is all the information I can just get within this notebook. And it kind of gives me like a starting point to start to optimize my semantic model. I mean, obviously, I can't do all the optimizations here. I might still have to use external tools maybe to do another level of optimization. But when it comes to starting, I already have few things in mind. Come on, I've got these 10 things I can use on my model to optimize it. So this is what I really love about it. I mean, as a Power BI developer, I'm getting all the information here using Semantic Lake. I can run Vertipack Analyzer, I can run Best Practice Analyzer. And yeah, I mean, and that's what I need, right? To optimize my data model as a data modeler. So that's why I mentioned like why Semantic Link is not just going to help the data science, it will also help the Power BI developers. And it can be done very easily. There's nothing magical going on here. Anyone can write these notebooks. There are very good instructions given on the semantic lab links and even semantic link GitHub repository. So it's perfectly very easy to do. So I think this is what these three demos I really wanted to show. That, and especially I wanted to focus more on like how semantic link can be helpful not only for the data science team but also for us as Power BI developers.